What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and they just dropped the trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. And it looks pretty fantastic. The Guardians of the Galaxy are actually heading to Earth, where Peter Quill was born and where he was taken from when he was just a boy right after his mother died. We're going to go through this trailer and break it down, but first, there is something that you need to know about this holiday special, and that is that this is going to be canon to the MCU, and you are going to have to watch this holiday special to know what's happening in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is coming out not too far from now next year. And yes, this is confirmed by the director of this holiday special and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn, and of course, he directed Guardians 1 and 2. James Gunn confirmed that this does take place between Guardians 2 and Guardians 3, and that this will serve as sort of the epilogue of Phase 4. And if you don't know what that means, that usually serves as a comment or a conclusion to what has happened. So this is essentially going to be the conclusion, the true conclusion of Phase 4. Because now this will technically be the final project, not Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because this is coming out on Disney Plus November 25th. And essentially what we're going to find out in this Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is all of the stuff with Starlord and Gamora. Kind of how they're addressing the fact that Gamora is no longer with them, but there is indeed another Gamora out there. Now, Gamora obviously died in Avengers Infinity War. Thanos sacrificed her to get the Soul Stone. But then in Avengers Endgame, Nebula, Gamora, and Thanos from 2014, along with his army, came into our universe. And Gamora turned good, and she survived. So she's out there somewhere. In our universe, and if the TVA doesn't pick her up, in which there isn't really a TVA right now, not at least a normal one that Loki had to deal with at first, if they haven't picked her up, she is out there. I don't think we'll see much of her in this holiday special, but I do believe this will be addressed in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But you do have to watch this holiday special to know what's happening in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so let's break down this trailer and talk about its awesomeness. Now, it starts off with Kraglin talking about how he saw a calendar and realized that on Earth right now, it's Christmas time. There's obviously some dialogue that they leave out of the trailer, some dialogue that we don't hear, but essentially the Guardians team is talking about going to Earth for Christmas, in which Nebula replies they don't have time. James Gunn clarified on Twitter that the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special takes place between Thor Love and Thunder and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, not between Guardians Volume 2 and Infinity War. So this is after Thor Love and Thunder, and what we learned in Thor Love and Thunder is that the Guardians of the Galaxy are going around the galaxy basically answering distress calls, being heroes and saving people. So when Nebula says that they don't have time to go to Earth, she is most likely referring to the fact that they are actually being the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going around the galaxy answering distress calls, saving people. So Nebula says they don't have time to go, but Mantis says that Peter's been so depressed lately, it might be a good idea to go to Earth, to his home planet, to celebrate one of his holidays that he believes in, to cheer him up. So they decide to go. They go to Earth to celebrate Christmas. They land in LA on the Hollywood sign. It's a little bit meta here, a little bit sarcastic, because obviously LA is where they film everything. They go to Hollywood Boulevard, which is where the premiere for all of the movies are held, including the Guardians movies, Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, all of the movies that they've been in. The premieres are held right there. And we see Drax and Mantis on Hollywood Boulevard. People are looking at them, staring. Now, this could be for a couple of different reasons. One, it could be because they're obviously not from the planet Earth. Now, people aren't freaking out because at this point in time, the people of Earth have been through so much. They've been through Thanos, his snap, the Hulk snapping everybody back. They've been through all of the events from every Avengers film. Thor and all of them are heroes, and they're very well known, which could be another reason why people are looking at them. The Guardians of the Galaxy did help save the universe, and they were on Earth during Avengers Endgame, and they did all fight with the Avengers. So people might know who they are. They might be kind of famous. We did just learn from the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer that Ant-Man is famous. We know that Wanda was so famous that she was on a lunchbox, so perhaps the Guardians are a little bit famous here as well. So maybe some people know them, but I think primarily people are just kind of freaked out to see Mantis and Drax, who are basically aliens to them. At this point in time, the people of Earth might not know if they're a threat or if they're friendly. But of course, they are friendly. They are here just for Peter, so they're trying to cheer him up. It looks like they go to some parties, some underground raves. We see them doing a lot of Christmas stuff, exchanging gifts. There are lights everywhere. Peter looks actually happy that his friends have done this for him. And notice that we actually see an adult Groot here for the most part. He's not teenage Groot anymore, but he doesn't look exactly as evolved as he looked during the first Guardians, so he's probably like a young adult at this point. Now, based off of the events that play out through the rest of this trailer, it looks like they go to Earth and try to cheer Starlord up a little bit, and it probably works just a bit, but he's still kind of depressed and missing Gamora. So they talk about what ways they could cheer him up. Mantis says they'll need something special that he'll never forget, but Drax says, what about someone special? And they arrive at the house of the legendary, as they say it, Kevin Bacon. Now, this is obviously a big callback to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, going back to the scene with Gamora and Starlord, where they are waiting to talk to the Collector. The two of them are talking together. Peter talks about dancing, and Gamora says that she doesn't dance, in which Peter says there's a story where he comes from about people like you, called Footloose, and within it, a hero, Kevin Bacon. Footloose is clearly one of Peter's favorite stories. He's clearly talked about it more than once and has mentioned Kevin Bacon more than once because the Guardians are going to try and kidnap him, essentially, to give to Peter as a gift to try and cheer him up. So Nebula and Drax arrive at Kevin Bacon's house. He looks at them very confused, wondering what's going on his camera, but of course Drax just busts through the front window. They tell him he's coming with them as a Christmas gift for their friend, and it's the actual Kevin Bacon, which is hilarious and awesome at the same time. Of course, he thinks he's about to be kidnapped by essentially aliens, so he tries to run away. Now from here, they basically tell us the entire cast that's going to be in the series. Of course, it's the main Guardians of the Galaxy cast: Starlord, Nebula, Kraglin, Mantis, Drax, Groot, Rocket, and Cosmo, the space dog, who's going to be voiced by Maria Bakalova. Most people know her from Borat, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna actually hear her talk in this very much. In the comics, Cosmo the space dog was the security chief of the space station Nowhere, which we have seen multiple times now in the MCU. Cosmo is a telepathic Soviet space dog and has been a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics. It's unclear how exactly Cosmo is going to be depicted here in the MCU in the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, as we see Rocket feeding Cosmo a treat. Now in the comics, Cosmo was a Soviet space dog, and in the 1960s he was launched into Earth's orbit by the Soviet space program as part of an experiment, but was actually lost in space. Eventually he would arrive at Nowhere and was said to be mutated by cosmic rays, giving the dog telepathy and other powers. It's unclear on whether or not Cosmo will have powers in the MCU, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And that is pretty much the trailer. It looks like a very, very fun time. Classic Guardians humor filled with a bunch of holiday spirit for the holiday times. There had been a rumor going around for a while that Kevin Bacon was going to show up, and now it is confirmed by the trailers. There's also been a rumor that the Silver Surfer might appear in this because someone has been listed as the Surfer. However, it is definitely not confirmed that the Silver Surfer will be in this. They recently mentioned that the Silver Surfer might be getting his own Disney Plus special presentation, which I'm all here for because these special presentations are actually turning out quite nicely. So don't hold your breath on that. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Either way, this holiday special looks like it's going to be a very, very fun time. And again, you have to watch this to know what happens in Guardians of the Galaxy 4, or otherwise you might be a little bit lost in the beginning. So let me know your thoughts about this trailer in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on the MCU. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.